November 14th, Saint Josaphat, the Soul-Snatcher. Today, we honor a martyr whose blood cries out for Catholic unity, Saint Josaphat, Archbishop of Pius. His enemies called him the Soul-Snatcher because he brought many souls back to Rome. And on November 12th, in the year 1623, those enemies murdered him for it. Born in 1580 in a little town in Lithuania, he was baptized John, and he grew up in a dark time for the Ruthenian Church. The Eastern clergy had fallen into complete demoralization. They were grossly ignorant, and they were living vicious lives, rarely preaching or teaching catechism. After the Union of Brest in 1596, which reunited many with Rome while keeping the Byzantine liturgy, the church split into two warring camps, Uniates, who accepted Rome, and schismatics, who refused. Growing up, young John was different. While other boys played games, he prayed. He learned the entire Slavonic breviary. His parents raised him in piety, but the clergy couldn't teach him because they barely knew the faith themselves. So he drew his religious education straight from the liturgical books. He was apprenticed to a merchant in Vilna, a city corrupt in morals and torn by religious factions. There he devoted every spare moment to prayer and study. The merchant was so impressed that he offered him his entire fortune and his daughter's hand. But Josaphat refused. God was calling him higher. At 24, in the year 1604, he entered the Basilian monastery of the Trinity at Vilna. His fame for virtue spread rapidly, and distinguished visitors sought his counsel. Soon, Benjamin Rutsky, a learned layman, joined the order too, and together they began the regeneration of religious life among the Ruthenians. During this time, his austerities were severe. He never ate meat. He wore hair shirts, he slept on bare floors, and he chastised himself till blood flowed. The Jesuits begged him to moderate. His favorite prayer? A prostration, touching his forehead to the ground, crying out, "Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a poor sinner." He studied the liturgical books intensely, drawing from them proofs of Catholic truth. He went on to write several works defending the Catholic faith. He was made bishop in the year 1617, archbishop in the year 1618. And what did he do? He restored churches, issued catechisms, assembled synods, and converted schismatics back to Catholic unity. He preached everywhere, in churches, fields, hospitals, and prisons. Where words failed, his tears succeeded. His converts included the Patriarch of Moscow and members of the Greek imperial families. The schismatics called him the Soul-Snatcher. With every conversion, their hatred grew. On November 12th, in the year 1623, a schismatic priest led a mob, men, women, children, against his residence. They attacked with stones and clubs, broke in, cornered him, and beat him. They split his head with an axe, shot him, dragged his naked body through the streets, and threw it in the river. He had told them, "I'm ready to die for the union of the church under Peter and his successor, the Pope." In the year 1628, Urban VIII appointed a commission that examined 116 witnesses. 5 years after his death, his body was still incorrupt. In the year 1643, 20 years after his martyrdom, he was beatified. In 1867, canonized. Today his incorrupt body rests in St. Peter's Basilica. Catholic unity is worth dying for. No compromise with error, but true unity under Peter's successor. Saint Josaphat gave everything. Saint Josaphat, martyr for unity, pray for us.